to start with Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now, one of the foundations for Prodigy Greek is that it's not exactly what you're learning that makes you a prodigy, but rather it's how you learn it that will influence your development. So we can really learn from anything, and it'll work just as well. There's no magic to learning certain letters or words first or later, and we're certainly not going to start by learning the entire Greek alphabet. So, the first thing I want you to learn is two words. We're going to do two words today. And those words are en-arche, and in English this would look like en and arche. Okay, so say en-arche, or if I was going to spell it phonetically, it would probably look like something like this. En, or that looks like en. This is in. En-arche. Let's say A-R-K-A-Y. Arche. Like that. En-arche. That's the phonetic spelling. Okay, so the most important thing first is that you just pronounce it correctly. Nobody speaks ancient Greek anymore, although there are modern Greeks over in Europe that speak modern Greek, which is a very far descendant from ancient Greek, using mostly the same alphabet, but the pronunciation is different and a lot of the vocabulary is different and the grammar is certainly very different. Although, someone correct me if I'm wrong, I don't really know modern Greek, so I can't say. Okay, so we've got two words from Genesis 1:1, en-arche, and the next thing we're going to do is write it in Greek. So have your pen ready. The first letter is capitalized, although it doesn't have to be, and it looks like the letter E. This is an epsilon, and then the letter N that we have next is actually going to look like our modern letter V. So this is the first big difference. Now this is the letter epsilon and the letter nu. I'll write that out. Epsilon here, and nu is here, which is like a N. U. It decides to show up on my computer. Okay. Nu. So epsilon and nu. And actually, while the epsilon looks exactly like the letter E, nu, although it looks more like the letter V, we kind of write our N's like that, don't we? Does that look like a V or like an N? We just kind of usually put it a little closer together like that, but it still has that little piece that becomes like that. So it actually kind of looks like the letter N. You might be thinking I'm crazy, but you'll see. A lot of these letters are very similar. So there's N, and then arche in Greek is going to look like this. The letter A is alpha, and you can see how much that looks like the English letter A. And then rho is like this, and that looks like our letter P. The letter R here, arche, kind of looks like a P. We just add to it a little bit, although it's shortened. A-R, and then this is where we have the letter chi. This is not the same as the letter K in Greek. That is a different letter. That's a kappa. This is a letter chi, which we spell, I think, C-H-I. It's a key. Rho, by the way, is here. Rho. And then alpha. You might have heard the phrase alphabet before. That's comes from Greek also. Alpha and beta. Beta is the Greek letter for a B. Alpha, beta, alphabet, that's the ABs. The alpha, beta. Or we could do it like this, alpha, beta. Okay. Now we're getting off topic a little bit. Just want to give you some background. So we have alpha, rho, chi, and eta. And this looks like an N kind of, except it's where we get the letter E. This is a long E. What that means is it's epsilon plus epsilon, or E plus E. But instead of writing arche, like instead of writing ARK, or I'm sorry, alpha, rho, chi, epsilon, epsilon, in RK, they use a long E in eta, like that, and that's nRK. And that means in the beginning. And now we don't really have the word the in here. So if we're going to think Greek, we should really just think in beginning, in arche. Okay, so that is the beginning of Prodigy Greek. What I'd like you to do now is write it all on your own without any help from me. I'm going to open up a new document and not save the changes. And we're going to see if you can write in arche on your own. So go ahead and try to write it. And let's check it. So N, or we did it with a capital epsilon, N, and then arche, alpha, rho, chi, eta. Okay, try one more time on your own without any help. Okay, if you got it right, it would be, oops, I did it again. I want to see epsilon, capital epsilon, lowercase nu, N, and then arche. Like that. And now, without looking, how do you say in the beginning in Greek? If you said in arche, you were correct. And that is the end of day 1 Prodigy Greek. We'll take it a day at a time, just a little bit at a time. Good job.